The episode begins with RIAS informing Issei and 𝕬𝕤𝕒𝕤 that they're in need of familiars for both of them, with RIAS, Akeno and Koneko introducing them to their familiars. We learn that the girl who gave Issei the flyer was RIAS' familiar. Just then, Sono steps in with the rest of the student council, where we learn that she is the next head of the Citri, another large devil family. Saji, Sono's pawn, is extremely pompous and has an immediate rivalry with Issei. When questioned about RIAS' plan, it is revealed that people can only get a familiar once a month. Seeing as they are both in need of them, they decide to arrange a sports competition. The first match is a tennis match that has ended in a tie. So instead they chose to play a team game. They agree on dodgeball, with Issei staying up all night sewing the headbands for everyone. Team RIAS emerge victorious. They then proceed to see the familiar master. They are then escorted to the lake where, due to a series of mishaps, 𝕬𝕤𝕒𝕤 ends up with a dragon familiar. Issei is perplexed because everyone around him is crying, yet when we turn around we discover RIAS in a bridal gown. It is his and her wedding, but it's cut short by an ominous voice bellowing out to Issei, just as he awakens with his boosty gear acting up. We cut to RIAS and Akeno chatting about him, where despite the fact that Issei cannot create a bond, he is always described as fun to be around. However, RIAS mentioned that it is not good and that she needs to assist him out more than ever, with Akeno remarking that this is not typical of her and that perhaps something else is going on between them. With Akeno leaving, an ominous figure teleports in, giving RIAS an irritable look. And we transition to Issei in his room, where a distraught RIAS begs Issei to take her innocence. But she is too late.
I had a feeling I'd get here too late.
Really, RIAS? You're here with this lowborn? You realize Sir Zex is going to be terribly disappointed in you.
Her plan is thwarted by her brother's queen, who stops them and teleports her away. 𝕬𝕤𝕒𝕤, Issei and Kiba walk to the club room, but before they can get any answers, someone bursts in the room from flames. His name is Ryza, the heir to a noble devil family, as well as the fiancé to RIAS. However, it is revealed to us that this was not up to RIAS, but this was set up owing to a great battle and the need for pure-blood devils. However, because RIAS is opposed to this, her brother Lord Zex provides her the opportunity to break off her engagement. This is accomplished through the use of rating games.
It's a game noble devils play with each other. Long story short, they and their servants compete in battle to determine who wins.
Like the chess thing?
Exactly. It's the reason we have individual powers that are inspired by what we call evil pieces, in order to play the rating game.
Okay, that's good to know.
They are, however, at a disadvantage, because they're not only fewer in number than he is, but they're also less experienced. When Ryza meets Issei, he flaunts his harem in Issei's face, to which Issei responds,
Screw you! The only person in this room I need to impress is
enough.
RIAS! I don't give a shit what you think of me!
Issei.
We don't need to play some damn game! I'll kick your ass right here, right now!
with Issei being knocked out. RIAS accepts the rating game. With that, Ryza departs. We see everyone travelling to a remote location to train for 10 days. We begin with Issei training with Kiba, who is practicing with swords, with the lesson training him to concentrate. The second lesson is with Akeno, who is teaching 𝕬𝕤𝕒𝕤 and Issei about the flow of magical force. Though Issei is more behind than 𝕬𝕤𝕒𝕤, she advises him to picture what he wishes to happen and to make it come true. That brings us to the following lesson 3, in which Koneko instructs him on how to hit his opponent's core. Lesson 4 is cooking with RIAS, but we get a glimpse of Issei's future power. However, Issei overuses his peel power on potatoes and is obliged to make a large amount of mashed potato. We cut to Lord Zex with his maid, explaining that he hopes she will continue on the road she has chosen. We then cut to Issei waking up 𝕬𝕬𝕒𝕤 and asking for assistance with night training. The next morning, RIAS discusses the long ago struggle between the three factions, explaining that they are now on the verge of extinction, and that whereas they once had 72 upper class purebloods, they now only have 3. With the game, new demons will get experience and the winners will gain a better name for themselves and their families. RIAS then asks 𝕒𝕤𝕒 about her previous life as a sister. It soon becomes night, and RIAS and Issei cross paths. RIAS discusses her attack strategy, explaining how powerful RIAS is and how the only losses he has ever gotten are due to him permitting it. However, this is where RIAS confesses her true feelings.
Because of my title, I'm not ever recognized as RIAS. The House of Gremory will always come before me. I've learned to adjust to it and make personal decisions accordingly. I understand that history is not in my favor, and the idea of love may just remain a dream, but it's one I'd like to keep.
Whatever, I like you, and I don't care what your name is. I like you for who you are.
Issei is now practicing with his boosted gear, with RIAS showing how far he has progressed.
What? That's all I have?
Trust yourself! Issei, you have become the linchpin of this game. Your attack will critically affect the direction in which this competition moves. Trust in us, and more importantly, you must trust in yourself.
I trust you. And I know I can handle this.
He can do this.
Issei is sitting patiently on his bed, waiting for the games to begin, with 𝕒𝕒𝕒 sharing time with him. His alarm goes off, and the games can now commence.
Let's go. It's time.
They all meet up in a club, and we learn that her brother, whose real name is Lucifer, will be watching them. With that, they are teleported to another dimension that is designed after the school. They walk out with their battle strategy in hand, but before Issei goes, RIAS unlocks some of his power that was hidden away due to him not being able to handle it. With everyone in position, they all set out, with Koneko and Issei being the first to face a team of 4, with 3 pawns and 1 rook. Koneko is to fight the rook, while Issei handles the pawns, with Koneko dominating the other rook. However, Issei is having a more difficult time, but as the twins are in the air, Issei does his special technique, jumping up and taking both girls, then tagging the other one once he hits the ground.
Bring it on! Here's my special move! Time to get naked!
While being perverse, it does demonstrate to be a smart strategy, with them being unable to move. With that, Issei and Koneko flee, with Akeno destroying the building they were in. With that, a trap was created for 3 of RIAS' pawns, with Kiba taking on all 3 of them. However, a surprise attack takes out Koneko.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, Koneko!
I just wanted to serve RIAS well.
It's alright, we'll get you to 𝕒𝕒𝕒 and she'll heal you up in no time. No, don't go! Stay with me!
Akeno takes on RIAS' queen and now that Koneko is out of the game. With Kiba having taken out all 3 pawns and catching up to Issei, they both enact upon a new plan. This ends up with Kiba finding a knight and Issei fighting all the remaining pieces. One on the other hand has no intention of fighting and is actually RIAS' sister. And now, Issei has to put up a decent fight with the rook. We cut to RIAS and 𝕒𝕒𝕒 meeting up with RIAS. Cutting back, we've seen Kiba's sacred gear, which he can use to craft any blade he wants. Issei has finished boosting and he pours it out on the rook. Prior to another attack, the focus is now on RIAS and RIAS on the roof. All of them are currently in combat, with Issei receiving an upgrade. With that, Issei devises a strategy and employs a team move with Kiba to send all of his opponents flying and out of the game. However, their joy is cut short by Akeno's defeat, which is immediately followed by Kiba. With that, both teams are down to 3 players. With Issei getting healed and 𝕒𝕒𝕒 collapsing, RIAS and Issei decide to go on the attack. Issei dashes in to assist RIAS, promoting himself to that of a queen. Unfortunately, his power eventually catches up with him. Issei's body has reached its limit, but he refuses to give up. RIAS beats him down in frustration, but with RIAS' forward feelings towards Issei and Ryza seeing Issei's persistence before the final hit, RIAS calls the game off. With that, it ends in a loss.
I resign, okay? I resign. Please just let him go.
RIAS. Why?
Lady RIAS' resignation is recognized. Lord Riser Phoenix is the winner of the game.
We begin with Issei talking to the voice in his head, telling him to grow more powerful and introducing himself as the Welsh dragon, 𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒, the being who inhabits his left hand. Issei awakens to find Miss Greyfrey waiting for him, explaining that they had lost and RIAS has surrendered to save his life. It is said that the engagement celebration will begin soon, with Issei speaking with all of his emotions. She says that she has never seen a devil quite like him, with Lord Zex feeling the same way. As a result, she hands Issei a transportation card with a message from Lord Zex.
If you want my sister back, Issei, you'd better be prepared to fight.
Artia enters, hugging Issei, and Issei asks for her to assist him, promising Artia to bring RIAS back and to be careful. With that, Issei strikes a bargain with the dragon, and we cut to the ceremony, where Issei bursts through the door, vowing that he will bring RIAS back with him.
I'm Issei Hyoudou, and I'm here to bring RIAS GREMORY back where she belongs. No one is gonna take anything from her that she doesn't want to give. Seize him!
Lucifer then says that he was not impressed with Ryza's performance, and as a result, has given Issei another chance. They agree to the duel, and he asks Issei what he wants as a prize, with Issei wanting RIAS. Issei promotes himself to Queen and demonstrates a new ability. He is now capable of transforming. We return to their agreement, where he receives a huge power that he can only use until the count of 10. Issei can put up a good fight against Ryza, but he is still outmatched in numerous situations. But Issei has a secret weapon, a holy cross. It is shown that Issei offered up his arm for the power, but before he can deliver the last blow, he powers down, but not before receiving a great deal of power. With that, Issei increases the amount of holy water he has and throws out Ryza, which he cannot regenerate from.
No! Stop it! Don't! This engagement's important to the future of all devils! You fool! A mere servant like you has no business getting involved with the affairs of your betters!
Don't you understand? I don't care! RIAS! She's the only thing that matters to me. And the fact that you'd force her to be with you, when she obviously hates you! Well, that's reason enough for me to take you out! Suck on this, scumbag!
Bastard!
He finishes the fight with one more blow. With the floor giving way beneath them, they tumble, with RIAS flying in and snatching Issei, and riding off on a griffin back home.
You okay?
Silly boy. To give up your arm just for me.
Hey, it was worth it. Totally. I would have done anything to get you back safely.
Issei, look, the engagement may be over now, but I promise you this isn't the last we'll hear of it, not by any means.
Then I'll give up my other arm, and then my eyes if I have to.
Issei.
I'll do whatever it takes. Nothing is gonna stop me. I'll always save you. I'm your pawn after all. It's my job, right?
With the first kiss between RIAS and Issei, they fly off home, with everything going back to normal. However, the one big change is now that RIAS will be staying with Issei. And thus ends Season 1. This was a great episode, and in all honesty, a great season, probably one of my favourite anime seasons of all time. However, as we all know, it continued on from here. I do want to say though, if anyone wants to know my full thoughts on this series when it comes to the light novels and all that. A lot of people ask me for it, and as such I will be talking about them another time. The specials, however, I don't think I'll be able to do too much of them, so you'll have to forgive me on that, but I don't think I'll be covering them unless I can do something with them at some other point in time. However, if you want to know my thoughts on light novels compared to the anime, they did a fantastic job when it comes to the anime adapting the first 2 light novels, or well, the first arc of High School DxD. So take that as you will. From me, I definitely think it's up there, and I can see why High School DxD, compared to a lot of other harem anime, has definitely stayed compared to a lot of the other competition. But my thoughts as a whole when it comes to 6, 7 through 12, yeah, there's nothing but greatness I can say. Now, a lot of people have argued that, oh well, in this all we see is Issei losing and losing and losing, but we don't see him fully lose. He might have won, we don't know, when it came to Riza and Issei's first encounter. Maybe he could have got a boost from 𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒. However, we don't know, because RIAS and Issei was the main focus. It wasn't him gaining power. It was that he felt weak and he lost to a lot of them, to experienced players. And again, a lot of people forget that this is experienced players. And as such, he wanted to do something desperate, and his desperation paid off against Riza. And even then, he would have lost if it wasn't for the help of some other items. He would do anything for RIAS, and that was the whole point of showing, well, having him lose until then. So I don't really see that as a downside. In fact, I quite like it. There are a lot of other characters that lose all the time, and it gets annoying to me, especially with what they do. But this makes sense to me. He's a new devil starting off against all these higher players. But I think I'm going to leave it there to that part. I am at some point going to do a Season 1 and Season 2 retrospective later down the line, so hopefully you'll be there for that. Anyway, I've been 𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.